Broke girls are demanding high value men. Broke girls are demanding high value men. Today's video comes from Manosphere Highlights Daily. His channel will be linked in the description so you can go check him out and support his content. So you have broke girls who are flipping out and going crazy on social media because men no longer want to date them or have a relationship with them. You have women who have multiple children who are saying that they deserve 666 guys. Guys, watch it in this video to fully understand the implications of this as more men are walking away, becoming MWA or MGTOW and saying that we're not putting up with it anymore. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Are you there?
At your service, sir.
Enter the manosphere.
Of course. How can I assist you today?
Give me some of that dating foolishness.
Will do, sir.
I need a man who knows who's going to come into a whole house. He's going to take mine as his. He's going to take me as his partner. It's one, honey. When you find a wife, you find a good thing.
Welcome. If you are equipped to deal with her and her 3 kids, why even consider it when there are women with less baggage? Any man who she deems equipped has the choice to select a woman with fewer complications, less emotional, financial, and mental strain. Think about it. Why take on all that when there are better options out there?
You can't judge me. I didn't take anything personally. I talked to Brian afterwards. I said, I don't take anything personal. I'm not mad at you. It is what it is.
It's a
my
preference.
person.
I mean, guys, I have across all the bureaus right now, I have very, very good credit. In fact, I was just looking at my credit score right now. I have above a 750. Guys. I'm creeping up on that 800. By the grace of God, by the power of Jesus Christ, I'm creeping up on that 800. Even if I have some setbacks, I'll keep on pushing, keep on grinding, but I'm creeping up on that 800. 800 credit score, y'all. 800 credit score. I am telling you right now. And then women want to enter into relationships. They want to do these things. I don't know, y'all. I do not know. They cannot seem to comprehend why men are walking away. Why would any man in his right mind want to get into a relationship with a single mom, especially a single mom who has 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies, and she is claiming that she's a high value woman, and any man that she allows into her life and into the lives of her kids are going to have to be able to hold her down and her kids down. Guys, women are fighting hard. They're fighting hard for MGTOW. They're fighting hard for MWA. We don't even have to do the work anymore, guys. Even if they try to silence us, they're just doing the work for us. Okay? Because men are naturally just going to go MWA or they're going to go MGTOW. They're going to choose MWA as men with alternatives. Men walking away. Men with alternatives. Men walking away are not men that hate women. Men walking away do not hate women. A lot of men MWAs want women. They want relationships. They want to get married. They want to have children. All right. Even though I'm not pursuing that myself, that's what a lot of MWAs are. Passport kings are MWAs. They go overseas to other countries. They find women who are fit, feminine, and friendly. Some of them settle down and have kids with these women, or they just date. Okay? And they're not just walking away from relationships in Western society. They're also walking away from Western society. See, MWA is not about abandoning women. MWA is not focused on women. MWA is focused on putting out the toxic things in your life, the things that are not working for you, and choosing for your best alternatives. So if you're in a toxic environment, if you're in an environment, a bad job, all right, you need to exercise your options. If you're in a bad environment, a bad relationships, you need to exercise your environment. Okay. If you're living in a place, if you're in a place where you do not feel appreciated, all right, you need to leave and go somewhere where not only are you appreciated, but you will also be celebrated. That's MWA. And a lot of women cannot handle that. Then you have the MGTOWs. No matter how much they try to shut these dudes down, they're fighting for them. They're doing the work. Even on this platform, you cannot put that in your video URLs, in your video titles anymore. You cannot put the acronym in your video titles anymore. Some of y'all are like, why aren't you using the word? But because we can't. Because we can't. We have to say MGTOW or men going their own way. That's the only way that we can actually use it. It is actually banned on TikTok. You'll get a message saying that, it's basically, they'll be kind of vague and basically say it's not allowed on the platform anymore. Okay? You cannot look up you cannot type in MGTOW or men going your own way on TikTok and find anything. It's completely banned on the platform. And even on this platform, they may not, they don't want you to know it, but it is, this happened like many years ago. It was labeled as a radical fringe group. And a lot of those channels were, if not the vast majority, if not all of them, were demonetized and kicked, and many of them were kicked off the platform. So you have to be like really, really, you have to like really, really wake up and understand what's going on. I've been fighting the good fight for like 10 years now. It's been about 10 years. I'm heading into that 10-year anniversary. 10 years on this platform. 10 years making content for you guys. 10 years putting up the good fight. And now you see where things are. Like they've gone this far. But guys, and Rumble is a force to reckon with. I'm getting ready to purchase some Rumble stock. Hell, might just purchase some Rumble as I'm speaking to you. Let me have a look at this. As I'm talking to you, I might go purchase some Rumble.
You know what I'm saying? But like, people don't know how to live in reality. They want to live into society, and it's fake to me. I'm not with it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Janae talks about living in reality and rejecting societal norms, but what does she actually bring to a relationship? What realistic benefits does a single mother of 3 with 3 different baby daddies offer? Is she being practical about her expectations, or is she falling into the very fantasy she claims to reject? This is the part where many women dismiss societal norms when those norms don't benefit them, and yet they're quick to want the perks.
And I think, Shayna, you wanted to say
So
something.
one thing I do want to say.
Something very interesting about Rumble right now, by the way, guys. Like, I'm like I said, I'm getting ready to buy some Rumble, rumble.com, because it's an alternative platform for for people, for conservatives. And I'm looking at the market cap for Rumble, and Rumble has a $1.47 billion market cap. It's done $78 million over the last 12 months. It has a $1.47 billion market cap. I got an email from, the Rumble CEO, founder of Rumble this morning. And, Dunkin' Donuts no longer wants to advertise on Rumble. So you know what he did? He went into his fridge. I don't know if it was real, if he really just did that, but he went and bought them. And he took out like a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts, like flavored things that you can drop into your coffee, took them out and threw them in the trash. Threw them all in the trash. That's one nasty guy right there. Nasty guy. Took all those Dunkin' Donuts flavor cups. You can evidently buy these flavor cups and make your own coffee at home. Took them out, tossed that shit in the trash. That's one bad boy right there. That's a bad boy right there. And this is what guys, look at what's going on in the gaming community right now. Ubisoft is facing a hostile takeover from investors. All right, the gaming company Ubisoft, because they've been putting out so many games with feminist propaganda and pandering to woke ideology, and they're still doing it, that their stock prices have lost 80% of their value from 2019 to now. 80%. They went from being their stock price went from being valued at, I believe it was like between 12 and 13 billion dollars to now continuously below 2 billion, and it's still falling. All right. For example, Jedi Outlaws, that game is terrible. The characters are ugly. It's completely woke. It costs crazy amounts of money to develop, and it's horrible. And Ubisoft is like, they don't care. They're just going to keep on doubling down. And investors are going ballistic right now because Ubisoft has doubled down and made it clear they're going to keep on putting out these woke games until the company runs out of money, until they don't care at all. They're going to keep on doing this. Right now, I'm going to tell you, like, even when you look at, like, the upcoming thing that's going to happen in November, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for, certain groups of people. One way or another, though, I'm still going to do my best to vote. Still going to do my best to vote, even though it's like we already know what the results are. Doesn't matter. I'm still going to do my best to vote. And no matter who wins, it's like we're still screwed, because at best we'll only get like a short reprieve from the hell on earth that's coming one way or another.
Earlier, we all have our preference, which is fine. You might like them tall, you might like them short, you might like them with the kids. But I think it was just your delivery that really was kind of tough to watch. So that's all I had to share. We kind of chatted about it before. Everyone's entitled to what they like, but it's just the way you were speaking to the ladies, which was kind of harsh.
So speaking on that, Brian, do you feel like you could have delivered your message in a different way?
I think I wanted to deliver it the way I did, right?
Okay.
Because if I'm coming on some softness, you're not gonna really grasp what I'm telling you.
That's not.
Right? And the thing about accountability is you want me to deliver it the way you want to hear it. Nah, the truth hurts. The truth hurts. You got to be able to embrace that. We as men, we embrace accountability. And women have to do the same exact
Women
thing
do
and not
embrace
get angry.
accountability. I'm not
and
angry.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
No, women like Janae do not embrace accountability. How often do you hear women say they don't want to be judged?
That really touches my heart all over again, because you can't judge me for being in that circumstance.
You can't judge me.
So you're gonna tell me, oh, well, you got this many kids, I can't date you.
No,
but that happened 25 years ago.
Not the number of
At what
kids.
point are you going to give grace?
Especially when they willingly come on a show that's
At what point are you going to give grace? At what point are you going to, guys, at what point are you going to give grace? That happened 25 years ago. I had a kid 25 years ago, and you're still holding it over my head. All right. My babies are the most important thing in my life. All right. So, but you're going to hold that over my head, that I have these children that God gave to me. All right. So guess what? You are not a godly man. You are not the right man for me. You're not the right man for any woman, because you have this attitude out here like you think you're better than us. You are on this pedestal, when in reality, we were put here to be placed on a pedestal. God made us for us to be worshipped and to be honored, and all of this other BS. This is the garbage they're putting out there, guys. You have a lot of women now that are saying that men need to worship them and they need to kneel at their feet. Do not marry a man. Do not get into a relationship, ladies, with a man who does not worship you. Do not get into a relationship with a man who does not view you as a goddess. Do not get into a relationship with a man who does not kiss your feet. All right? Who does not kneel at your feet, who does not kiss your feet. In other words, do not get into a relationship with a man who is not a slave for you and who does not worship you as a god. Guys, this is a path to hell. We see what happened with Adam, all right? We see what happened with Adam, and there's so many men who are worse than Adam today. Worse than Adam today. They will lie in God's face for a woman. And then when hell on earth is breaking loose, they'll turn around and blame every man around them and say that it's not their fault. Guys, Simps cannot be helped. They will not learn their lesson. I've said this plenty of times. Smart men learn from their own mistakes and experiences. Wise men learn from their own mistakes, their own experiences, as well as the mistakes and experiences of others. All right? Most Simps cannot learn. Most Simps will never even get to the point where they learn from their own mistakes. Guys, when I have men who are telling me that they have four different children, they have four different kids with three different baby mamas, or they've been married six times. Two of those were remarried, so they didn't learn their lesson the first time, and now they're realizing that the MGTOWs are right. And you're like, wait a minute, little bro, how old are you? You're in your 70s, little bro? You're in your 70s and 6 marriages. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It took you 6 marriages and 2 repeats with previous women because it didn't work. Because it's not like you didn't get the message the first time. You had to go and double dip again and get it again. And what is your life like? Oh, you're on lifetime alimony. You're broke. You're living in destitution. And it took you all of this to finally learn your lesson because you didn't want to be alone, little bro. My gosh. And how many men did you shame and go after because they didn't want to engage in the same type of fuckery that you were engaged in? Huh, little bro?
Judgment. It's like they want to box, but don't expect to get hit back. When these women dish it out, they expect you to handle a strong woman. But when it's time for them to get called out, oh, now we have to tiptoe around their feelings.
Aggressive
I'm not
and
being
feel like
aggressive.
men are aggressive
You are being
when they're delivering what they're trying to say. Like, no, I wasn't disrespectful on the show, right? And maybe I could have delivered it a little bit softer, but
And
that's
then
not
James,
the route that I chose.
you wanted to say something?
Brother, the way you've
Hold
been
on
talking.
1 second. James is going to go.
I wanted to say something about that. I understand both sides. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I don't care if a female has a starting lineup.
Behold, here comes the simp jutsu master.
You know what I mean? Like, I've dated girls that have multiple kids, you know, and bills, you know.
This is a low value. That's a low value man, y'all. You see the snake, and the snake like it hangs from the tree. That's a low, guys. That's why I told you these simps have their own. They have their own. They have their own intent. All right, they have their own agenda. A simp is not fighting for men. He is not fighting for women. All right, he is fighting for the state, and more so, he is fighting for himself. The simp has an agenda.
And for me, I love kids. You know, like.
Ah, look at her face. This is the type of man she attracts. The guy who has no problem with her lineup of children with different baby daddies.
So, guys, you could see her face right there. You could see the look of disgust on her face. She's absolutely disgusted with the simp, and yet she will turn around and pretend and act like this is the man that all women should be looking for. This is the man that women should be like. Don't settle for any other man unless he's like this. So she doesn't even like these men. She does not want these men, but she's trying to get these men because so that they can continue to live in their sin. They can continue to live in their state of irresponsibility, where they're not held accountable for anything. Look at her face. She is disgusted with the simp, and yet she knows what he's saying is gross. But she doesn't care because she'll then turn around in the same breath and say, yes, this is a good man. That's the kind of man that we need men to be. They don't like these men. These men are just agents of the state. They're just agents of the state. Women know that they're taking advantage of men. They know that they're bamboozling men. They know that they're using men. All right. And we're just foolish enough to fall for it. It's a sad reality. Sad reality.
Guy who's willing to lower his standards to get with her, to simp jutsu his way into a woman's life. And Janae, she's not loving it. That face says it all. But she wants a man who is equipped, remember? So it's not just the money. It's a man who fits her. And of course, that man has to get the approval of the sisterhood and social media.
I'm a kids person, so I don't mind dating a woman that has kids. So that's all I wanted to say is like.
Can I
simp jutsu?
Say something? Brian, I don't think your delivery was 100% wrong, but there is a difference between you as a type of man and there's another type of man. There's two different types of men. It's your preference, and it's a man that knows that he comes into this world to be a leader, protector, provider, who also knows that you're going to take care of a family as a whole. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're going to sacrifice. See, the purpose of a man is that a man is to know that he is there. He was put there by God to protect and provide for a woman and her kids. It does not matter if they are not biologically his own children. That's what God put him here to do. Do y'all see the total BS and nonsense that men are being fed, are being slipped? It's a total load of, guys, it's a total load of screwiness. It's screwiness. It's men being gaslit at every single angle and every single stage.
Kids it takes a village to raise these kids. I didn't take any judgment, but if you prefer a woman with one kid or you want some more with more kids, that's on
fine.
you.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not my person, and I'm not mad at you. And I'm not even mad at the world. And I don't give a fuck about anybody. If we can keep it G.
This is pure gold.
You know, I take care of my kids. They're well taken care of. I'm an independent woman. And I deserve a strong man who's ready to take care of a household. Not saying that that's not you or no other man in this world. Everybody got.
This is pure gold. You really can't make this stuff up. Janae doesn't deserve anything. This is the entitlement of these modern women. Let me show you where this mentality comes from. Take a look at her Instagram. Over 16K followers, flooded with selfies. It's these simp jutsu black belts, like the one defending her in this video, who boost her ego. Guys, when you're blowing up these women's DMs and liking their pictures, you're feeding into their delusion. She thinks she deserves a high status man because her ego is inflated by the attention of weak men. She thinks she's high status, and she has the audacity to talk about living in reality? Get the hell out of here. You heard her. The man has to come in and take care of the household, a household he didn't build. Why in the blue hell would any man do that when he has the option to build his own family? Women like Janae will run all over you because you're weak. I bet those 3 baby daddies, they're all...
And let me, hold on, wait, hold on. And I respect that, I appreciate that, right? There's gonna be a special type of man that's gonna come in and take care of you and your unit.
A special kind of fool.
That's gonna take care of you and your unit, right? Because most men wanna start their own family, all right? You know what I'm saying? So why?
See that, guys? They are presented with facts and reason. They don't want to hear it. But you're the head of the household. No. You are the simp that is now chosen to basically have to provide for this woman and her kids, Chad and Tyrone's kids. All right. And they're trying to tell you that it's gold. Like, they're trying to tell you that what you're getting is gold. You are getting screwed, brother. You are getting screwed. And they're out here trying to tell you what you're getting is gold. That's how these people operate. The level of corruption is disgusting.
May feel like, you know, I'm not raising your sons right, or you can't.
I'm gonna dead this right now. I had a baby daddy that told me in front of my child, I am not his daddy. I don't need a nigga like that. And I said,
You don't want one.
I need a man who knows who's gonna come into a whole house. He's gonna take mine as his. He's gonna take me as his partner. It's one, honey. When you find a wife, you find a good thing.
This is pure gold. She really said it. When you find a wife, you find a good thing. You see, guys, when a woman chooses a man, her selection process tells you a lot about her. Those 3 baby daddies, you're not going to tell me that they were all bad men, because that says she knows how to pick them. What does that say about her judgment? Remember this?
A lot of the time, I go for the bad boys. Just point blank, I go for the bad boys. Those red flags that people always talk about, I ignore because the bad boys are hot.
This is real. The good guy makes a woman feel bad because she is not a good woman. The bad boy, he makes her feel better about herself because he takes away the pressure of being a good woman. The bad boy is an excuse, fellas.
Run! Get to the chopper!
I'm not living into society or social media.
Correct. If your kids is acting up,
Yeah.
can he whoop your kids? Like
If they
he would whoop
need
his
it.
own son?
If they need it.
Who decides when a whooping is justified for your stepkids?
You'll be in prison. You will be in prison, y'all. Those kids are not your kids. Now, here's where things get interesting. You go and you marry a single mom, and a judge can require you to pay child support for those kids on the if you separate from her, on the grounds that you bonded with those kids. As I get older, guys, I understand my position in the world. I understand women. We are not equal to women. Women have always been given special privileges while men are given special punishments. But the state has no power without men, without enforcers, men to enforce the will of the state. The state has no power. unless the state is able to provide some viable incentive to keep men, at least some groups of men, doing the job, doing the work of the state, it will all collapse. You see, for example, even in 1984, the Ministry of Truth, without these men who are doing the evils of the state and who are well aware that they're doing evils of the state, without these men, and over time, people just basically fall in line. But without these men that are constantly doing these things and falling in line and disparaging and creating disparities for others, eventually the state loses all power. The state has no power without enforcers. It could have all the laws it wants and everything else, but if people begin running away, if men begin saying that we're not going to work for you anymore, what are you going to do? You're going to control it. If you create such a level of fear in the individual, if you don't do what we tell you, then we're going to punish you for it. People will run and hide. If even your enforcers no longer want to enforce for you because they can't return home to their communities and their families, their communities don't want them. If you become an enforcer and your community doesn't want you, your own family is afraid of you, you can't talk about the kind of work that you do. You have to hide it and all of this crap. All right. And then they find out who you are and what you are. No one wants that. No one wants that. You end up with a stigma on you. A lot of men who work as police officers, work in law enforcement, they're ending up with stigmas attached to them right now. While there are some people who are like, yeah, America. There are a lot of people who are like, we don't want these people in our community because they're being viewed as violent and problematic to be around. People don't want someone that is short-tempered and that has destroyed the lives of others. Okay? So if people no longer trust you, like the media, no one trusts the media. The only people that are pushing the media are the people who know exactly what's going on. People on the left know exactly what's going on. They know what the media is, but they know what the voice of the media is. But they don't care because all of these individuals have a specific agenda. So we're far past the point far past the point of logic and reason. At this point, guys, I can't wait. I cannot wait until you have someone like Elon Musk bring out when Twitter has like its own search engine where you can basically do all of your searching through Twitter, or Twitter search, because we're still our X search, whatever the hell you want to call it. And the media and the news that's being shown to you is basically has to be fact checked, not just by people on the left, but people on the right. It has to actually have some semblance of honesty. Like that's where we're really heading. That's the reality that we are now moving towards. And of course, the people who try to control our minds and control our thinking, they can't handle that. They absolutely cannot. And guys, I just want to remind you to check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. It's awesome. It's our own space. There's a link to the Angry Guy Clubhouse in the description of the video. We've got podcasts. We've got extended videos. We have guides that are going to tell you how to build your business, build your brand, how to build a thriving business empire, how to unlock your path to passive income with our complete affiliate marketing guide for beginners, all kinds of stuff over there, the blueprint for escaping the rat race. We have all of these things over there for you guys. It's all there for you. And we put out new articles every day. Modern women are pissed. The real reason men are walking away from dating. These are some examples. Did feminism fail women? The unexpected backlash and blame game. The art of the fib when lying is actually a good thing. Guys, men going their own way has robbed women of their futures. Stuff on the boomers too. How they stole our futures. There's something for everyone there. There's something for everyone here. So there's a link to a description of the video. And guys, also don't forget when you sign up to the Angry Guy Clubhouse, and it's free to sign up, you will also get access to our free digital nomad blueprint. So that's going to also help you to escape the rat race, escape society, get out of Dodgetown, because every man needs to know how to do that at this point when you consider how everything is going downhill around us. And again, the link is in the description of the video, so you can go and check that out.
And what happens if she thinks it's not? Or if the kid complains? This is just one of the layers of dating single mothers. And let's get into the potential drama with the biological fathers.
I mean, let's be real.
You just
This
have
ain't
to
about
be
that, but let's be real.
If you're going to whoop somebody else's kids, you just got to be ready for that repercussion.
The afterword.
Exactly. What
You
comes
feel me?
after that? Because as a father, nobody...
The simp jutsu master doesn't even realize how deep the rabbit hole goes. He's talking tough, saying he'll whoop his stepkids, but would lose it if someone laid a hand on his own kids.
Now, here's where things get very interesting about with the simp. You see, guys, these men are there because these are low-value men. A lot of these men would never even be able to attract a woman in the first place. So by being a simp, they immediately gain access to women. They get access to resources. They work as agents of the state, and they are rewarded by working as agents of the state and reallocating wealth and resources from men to the state. If you look at the single mother on the left, look at her shoulder, all the way from her shoulder all the way down to her chest. She is tatted up. She is tatted up. Modern women don't understand how these women are perceived around the world. When you go to other, they're like, I don't give a fuck. Well, it's okay, but people are going to judge you, and it's no one's choice. It's no one. I say right now, it's no one's obligation to want to have to deal with someone that looks like a gang member, walking around covered in tats, throwing up gang signs. No one wants to deal with that, and no one is obligated to deal with that. These women do not live in reality. They absolutely don't live in reality.
Hypocritical. And this is why baby mama drama is almost guaranteed. It's a lose-lose situation. These women want the biological father to disappear so they don't have to be accountable and risk scaring away potential husbands. These women know exactly what's going on.
No, because the discipline.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got has that right, and that's all I'm saying.
And those are the issues that we deal. And those are the issues that we deal with being a step parent. Like, and another thing I want to address is.
Shut up, Janae. Guys, don't date single mothers.
Run! Get to the chopper!
Now, can I get a drizzle?
Yeah, guys, soft guy era is no mess. Soft guy era is no joke. All right, women are doing all the work right now for MGTOWs. They're doing all the work for MGTOWs. They're doing all the work for men who are walking away. Okay, because they are pushing men out of society. They're pushing men to run away, get away as quickly as possible as a result of their behavior, as a result of the things that they are doing. All right, they basically say they'll tell a man what he should be attracted to. They'll tell a man, what he's allowed to like. And what, guys, it's a sick society, and women don't comprehend how things can and will be reversed. All right, the pendulum has not even started to swing right again. All right, it's still far left, and it's going further and further left with each and every single day. But men are waking up, and guys, they don't understand that by the time, because they've already scorched the earth long ago. They already scorched the earth long ago. But by the time that anything can actually change, by the time that that change begins to occur and the pendulum starts to swing, women don't realize that, like, by this point, men have already wisened up, and you're gonna have a lot of really nasty dudes out there, nasty, mean-spirited, who have they've basically internalized a lot of the hate that they learned from women, the hate that they were given by women, and now they believe that this is the way that society operates. Like, women have been teaching men how to be bad men for decades now. All right, teaching men how to be bad men based on the way that they treat them and the kinds of men that they prioritize relationships with. They want thugs, they want gangsters, they want dishonest men, they want men who lie. So now you're going to have men who lie to women. You're going to have men who are deceptive, men who are not trying to get into an actual relationship. All right, men, and again, now men are flipping the script and saying that, I have my own, I have value, I have worth. I'm in my soft guy era. All right, I hold all of the cards. And women, and like I said, a lot of these women, they will stay on their hill. They will stay on their hill till the very end. You can never, ever truly comprehend the ego of a woman until you witness it in action. They will stay on that hill until the very end. They will hold the hill.
Go out. We're gonna get a new man, someone that's hot, tall, treats me like a queen, actually makes plans with me, and brings me flowers. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. Today we're diving into an interesting case study from Netflix's Jewish matchmaking.
My name is Eliza Ben Shalom, and I am a matchmaker and dating coach. I am on this matchmaking mission. The matchmaking I strictly do with the Jewish community, where I have helped over 200 couples to get to the chuppah.
Specifically, we're talking about Danny, a woman who's become a prime example of modern dating entitlement. You see, in today's world, with social media fueling self-worship, women like Danny seem to think they deserve to be put on a pedestal. So much so, they expect a man to worship them more than his own religion. This is huge in today's dating scene and explains why we have so many leftover women. What was once the foundation of a relationship, commitment, values, and faith, has been pushed aside for self-worship. Let's talk about it. Disclaimer: this video contains copyrighted footage, so we will be freezing it frequently to prevent copyright infringement. A special salute to our Patreon supporters. The original video will be available on Patreon. If you enjoy our content and want the full experience, consider supporting us on Patreon. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we men, ain't we? We men, ain't we?
All my friends are all in very serious relationships, so I need to catch up. I would like to be married by 30, max.
Okay.
I'm great. Honestly, I don't know why I don't have men lined up waiting to marry me. Then when I was like 10 or 11, my dad decided he wanted to move us out to like the farm country of California. And it was city girl in a farm world. I have not had luck with dating. I don't know what I'm doing wrong because I'm 100% myself. And you know, what you see is what you get. The guys, they either love it or they hate it. And even if they love it, they don't love it enough.
The next thing I'd love to know about is what you really value in a partner.
Family's huge to me. I'm super close with my entire family. I think that's really important, and I want them to be obsessed with me.
Okay.
I want them to treat me like the queen that I am.
Okay.
It's fascinating how women always end up telling on themselves. And that's because women act emotionally. This woman is clearly obsessed with herself, and that's why she wants a man to be obsessed with her. The word queen gets thrown around as an emotional ego booster. But let's be real. Most of you aren't queens. Now, when women call themselves queens, it's just about feeling good. It's subjective. This is keeping many of them single because to be truly seen as a queen, they need to be connected with a high status man. And guess what? Those high status men who they want to put them on a pedestal aren't interested. Here's why.
My family, whole family is from South Africa. We're South African Jews.
Okay.
You know, we do all the holidays, all the big holidays. We went to temple for the high holidays. We do Shabbat, you know, when we're home together. My family does keep kosher in the house. We don't mix milk and meat. We don't have shrimp or pork. But my first cheeseburger I ever tried was with my Israeli friend. And she was like, you have to try this cheeseburger. It's gonna change your life. And I tried an In-N-Out cheeseburger and it did. It changed my life. I was like, why would I ever eat a burger without cheese again? So like, I would say I'm less Jewish in a way than my family is, just because,
Less
you know,
observant.
Less observant.
If you're Jewish, you're Jewish. But in terms of what you observe or how you observe, you observe differently than your family.
Yeah.
Translation: I want to do whatever fits my agenda or makes me feel good. This is the free-spirited woman. Someone who's all about herself and her experiences.
That really like touches my heart all over again because like you can't judge me for being in that circumstance because we all have soul contracts.
If you remember our Tamron Hall breakdown, you'll know why you need to run from these types. Let's show you why.
So how do you feel about being a girl who's not as religious as you?
It's definitely a difference for me. You know, over here in Miami, I tend to date girls who are a little bit more traditional, you know, even like more religious than myself typically.
Okay.
But I think there's a lot of positives about you that would keep me drawn in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, I feel like I go in waves with my religion.
Yeah.
My whole thing is that I don't want my religion to stop me from experiences.
No, that makes sense.
Big red flag. This woman is an agent of chaos. When she says she doesn't want religion to stop her from experiencing things, understand that religion exists precisely to prevent certain destructive experiences. You're not supposed to do whatever you want because rules keep things in order. Women like Danny, who go with the flow, are a perfect example of how the women's liberation and feminist movements are pushing for selective equality, she-quality. They want all the perks of tradition without the responsibilities.
Enjoy, bon appetit. Thank you.
This looks really good.
I know, right? Let's dig in. Or
He doesn't pour water or wine in my glass when he pours it in his, which it doesn't bother me. It's just something that I noticed.
You know, guys, look at the situation, what men are dealing with. Men are treated so poorly in these relationships. Women basically say that they are princesses, they are goddesses, they deserve the world, they should be handed everything. These are the same dudes that have, and I'm just going to call them dudes because they're so masculine. These are the same dudes that then have other dudes lined up, Chad and Tyrone lined up in the background, waiting to come and to get in and out. They'll bust it wide open for these individuals, but then so-called nice guys or stable guys, plan B guys, they're going to have to wait extended amounts of time before intimacy is even a possibility. And they're going to have to also spend large amounts of money on something that's already been used many, many times by these other individuals. It's a very sad reality that men constantly wake up to, and they realize they're just being taken advantage of. Here you have these women who are saying that a man needs to worship her, put her on a pedestal. They basically need to treat her as though she is a god, kneel before her. And it's sick. It's absolutely sick. They are also very selective. So, for example, she only follows her religion when she feels like it and when it makes sense to her. This is how hypocrisy works, guys. It's so hypocritical. All right, as men, this is why men have to just walk away. You have to walk away and realize that they're just trying to take advantage of you.
When I was growing up, table manners were a huge thing. Always pour people or offer people water or wine when you're doing it for yourself. So it's just something that I notice. I think that I could teach him.
This exposes her value system. She expects men to keep traditional roles alive for her benefit, like pouring her wine or paying for dates. And women like her see these gestures as investments in them. It's about her being on that pedestal. No wonder these modern relationships fail.
So you stay in Hollandale for the most part?
No. My synagogue is actually a little further down the road from here, so.
Do you go to synagogue a lot?
I go almost every morning. It really balances me out. It's kind of like meditation a little bit.
Yeah.
You should really try it.
If men were in the synagogue every morning to worship her, she'd be there first thing. But she already got that on social media, with black belts in simp jutsu inflating her ego. This is why she acts the way she does.
But yeah, how about you? What's your
My religious level?
Yeah, I have to ask.
I'm not super religious. I grew up relatively conservative. We all do Shabbat, we do Passover, Rosh Hashanah.
You do all the holidays.
All the holidays.
Basically, she's in it for the fun stuff. It's like someone who wants to eat the cake but isn't willing to do the work of baking it. Danny only wants the parts of religion that don't inconvenience her. And this is what's rampant in modern dating. People taking the easy route, enjoying the perks, but never committing to the responsibilities. Let's take it a step further.
Danny's dated a lot of characters. She always picks the bad boys or the boys that are just not willing to commit, and it hasn't worked out.
A lot of the time, I go for the bad.
You see, guys, this is Chad and Tyrone, and they do it over and over and over. men are waking up and realizing that if a woman wants a good relationship, then they're going to have to go over. If they want to be with a woman who wants to be a wife and a mother, they're going to have to go overseas to find someone along these lines. And they still have to be careful when they go overseas, because the women overseas are not better than the women in Western society. It's just that they have different tactics. All right. And you get more of a value. You can get a better value over there, but you're still dealing with all women. Women are all the same wherever you go. That's not to say that women are bad or women are evil. It's just explaining that a woman overseas is not better than a woman in the United States. It's just that they often offer different things in exchange for the value that they want from a man. All women want a provider and a protector. They all want a provider and protector, but women overseas basically go about it a different way to get what they want.
Just point blank, I go for the bad boys. Those red flags that people always talk about, I ignore, because the bad boys are hot. But there could be nice guys that are hot. No?
This is pure gold. She admits to ignoring red flags for the thrill of the experience. These bad boys give her that high status feeling because in her mind, it elevates her status. It's all about her, self-centered, all day. Religion, meanwhile, tries to prevent exactly this kind of self-destructive behavior. Women getting pumped and dumped by Chad and Tyrone is what society used to guard against. But in today's world, birth control, Plan B, and daddy government support make it easier for women to escape the consequences of their reckless behavior. Daddy government is ready to bail them out, which is why modern laws tend to favor women at the expense of men. Men need to understand this and protect themselves, because women like Danny are never going to be wife material.
I just think for future, when you're dating other girls, it's good to know.
I'm really not like that with other girls, though. That's the funny thing.
That's a really bad thing to say. What makes me different?
What makes you different?
Ooh, hectic.
I don't know. That is hectic.
Such a question right there.
Look, I think, one big difference between us is like the religious level. I think, whoever I want to end up with, I do want to observe a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't want to drag you through life that you don't want to live. I just felt like we just didn't want the same things, you know? And, in terms of going out, I'm not really about the nightlife like you. There's no problem with that. Mm-hmm. I'm probably too boring for you.
Yeah, guys. So basically, this is a godly man. And Jesus is speaking through him. God is speaking through this man, and he's basically saying, I guess the Jews don't believe in Jesus. But yeah, he's basically realizing that, hey, this is not for me. His brain is working and realizing that this is a woman that has a Jezebel spirit within them, and she will bring him and divide and bring him away from God, pull him away from God and bring him towards the evil one. And of course, she's just sitting there looking at him because she doesn't actually like these men. She likes Plan B men. She likes bad men. She likes these exciting men. These are the men that she wants. These are the men that she desires. And now you have a lot of men that are waking up and realize it's not worth it. All this is going to leave is more men realizing that relationships are not worth it. They should focus on learning how to be alone, draw closer to God. God will draw closer to them. And basically abstaining from relationships entirely. Or if they do want one, they'll have to go overseas and find a woman who's fit, feminine, and friendly. This may mean going to, some guys going to Italy if they're Italian, or not even Italian, but just want a woman who's Italian and has those qualities, or going to countries where women have these qualities and traits. Guys going to Africa, finding good women over there, going to South America and countries like that, going to Asia, finding good women in these countries. Men are basically walking away and leaving the women behind in these countries that are creating these disparities and creating the problems in these countries, and essentially, leading to the destruction of these countries. And everyone is seeing what the Simps are doing. The Simps are the major cause of all of this, not women. Women are not the major cause of all of the things that are happening in society. Simps are the major cause of everything that's happening. Feminism is not the major cause. Simps are the major cause. Simps are the ones to blame for everything. All right. But these little rascals, they basically, these are men who really in another time, in another place, would not really be allowed to foster and grow and thrive, because they would be dealt with differently.
Recognize the red flags early and run. Free-spirited party girls like Danny will never be loyal. If a woman is aware of the red flags in men and chooses to ignore them because the guy is hot, then she's a walking red flag herself, like a Chinese parade. Women like this will always put themselves first. You'll be left in the dust.
So I'm very happy with how things have ended with David because he sucks. And from what he even said himself, he's boring as hell. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna get a new man, someone that's hot, tall, treats me like a queen, actually makes plans with me, and brings me flowers. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds.
Basically, a man who worships her. That's what women are looking for now. They are determined that they are going to find men who worship them. If he does not argue, or if he does not worship you, then he is not for you. If he is not at your feet, if he is not at your beckon and call, then he is not for you. This is, guys, it's a sick society. It's a sick society. All right. Women are given special privileges and men are given special punishments. You know what's funny sometimes, guys? I see these people who are trying to put down my content and so forth. And here's the interesting thing. They're watching every single video. They're listening to every single video. They are listening longer to my videos than some of my biggest fans. Okay? They're listening longer to my videos than some of my biggest fans. What does that tell you? The fact of the matter is that the content resonates with them. They know what I'm saying is true, but they just don't care because that's just how they are. That's just how these people are. And it doesn't and the key is that men have to be aware that everywhere around you, you have these people. You have these people who are not, they're not good for you. These are dangerous people. These are godless people. These are people who are just going to create problems and despair and stress in your life, and that's why you have to learn how to walk away. And that's why you have to say, you know what? I'm not going to tolerate this in my life. I don't want this in my life. I don't want the stress in my life. I don't want the nonsense in my life. So I'm going to walk away from it. I'm going to walk away from the crap. I'm going to walk away from all of it, and I'm just going to focus on myself. And that's it. That's really it. Because women have done this in society. They've created the society where men just can't be bothered anymore. Men are sick of it. Men are tired. Men are frustrated, and men have woken up to the games that they play and the problems and stresses that they create in relationships. And as a result, men are not going to take it anymore. Men are stepping forward, and they're like, listen, we are done. We are absolutely done. Women created this reality for themselves, and they're going to have to live with said reality because no one is going to keep on playing this game with them forever. You have women who basically they shame their husbands on social media, and then they're shocked when their husbands say, you know what, we're done with you. We're done with the games, and we're going to walk away. We're going to walk away completely. You have women who shame their husbands, and then their husbands basically put them out and say, yeah, you're going to have to move out because these women don't even own anything. You have women who literally have nothing, and then they find themselves out in the streets.
When it's your boyfriend's birthday and he just really badly wants to game all day, and so you ask him nicely a couple times to stop being so loud because you work from home.
Guys, men are sick of it. Men are sick of it. Most men would be happier alone. They don't know what they're getting involved in. They don't know what they are getting involved in. It's this is why I said that the first people to do this to us are our mothers. Our mothers, to stress us out, to break us down. All right? There's so much narcissistic abuse that men have lived through that a lot of men will never be able to really reintegrate because of all that trauma. And there's a lot of other men who are like, shut up about it. You know what? Tell these men to go fuck themselves. I have my trauma, and I'm going to process my trauma. And I don't need you in my life, and I don't need you to tell me what a real man is. But guys, think about this carefully. To be a woman, all you have to do is identify as a woman. To be a man, you have to live up to the standards of others. That's a load of absolute hooey and total BS. That's why men have to walk away. That's why men have to wake up. That's why men have to say no more. We're not going to take it, and we're not going to tolerate it. I'm not going to be your toy. God did not put me here for you to take advantage of me or to use me or for your entertainment. It's just not going to happen. In today's world, a lot of men are just tired. tired of the games, tired of the BS, tired of the nonsense. The things that men go through on a relatively regular basis would leave women completely demoralized and frustrated. You have to remember that women spend most of their lives in chaos, hence they breed chaos into the lives of men. They spend most of their lives, basically looking for crisis, because it is during crisis where they're able to choose from the winners and the losers. That's just how women operate. That's just how women think, and it's an unfortunate thing for men. But it's a thing that men have to wake up to, and men simply have to realize. We guys, in terms of the battle of the SEXESs, the only way for men to win is to not play the game at all. And it's because because the game is rigged. When men realize that they are the chessboard, that they are the board, and that it's about others adhering to what men want, that's the only way that we win. And we're dealing with individuals who will stay on their hill to the very end. When you have people that have very poor character, that's another thing to consider. A lot of these individuals, a lot of these people who are creating these problems in our society, creating these problems, going after men, doing these things, they have very, very low character. These are very low character individuals. And as a result of that, men have nothing to gain. Men have nothing to gain from these relationships and absolutely everything to lose.
I've been crying all morning long. My husband told me that I needed to pack my stuff and get out the house. So I have my bag and I'm about to start packing. I literally have nowhere to go. So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So there's a few things that I don't do as a married woman. Number one, I do not cook for my husband. I only cook for my children. My husband will be making his own breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Number two, I do not help him pay any bills. So if he is short on the rent, on utilities, or anything like that, it is not my problem. I will not be helping him out. His job is to provide for his family, so I am not financially contributing to any of the bills. Number three, I do not do his laundry. I have my own laundry and my children's laundry to do, so he could do his own. I won't help him put it away. I won't help him fold anything. That's his responsibility. Number four, he is responsible for replacing any of his essentials like soap, shampoo, anything like that. He needs to go buy it himself. Even if I'm at the store, I will not be replacing it for him. If he needs new underwear, new socks, or anything like that, that's for him to do. I'm not going to do it for him. I'm not going to enable a perfectly grown-ass adult, because then they get used to that shit. So
she sounds pretty resentful and bitter about the whole marriage thing. What's interesting is that she has positioned herself to be the children's caregiver, and not as a wife and a mother. She is acting like she's divorced and living with someone she hates. Her husband is a roommate who just so happens to provide for everyone but receives no help from her.
Now, guys, this is the thing that a lot of guys don't understand. I've said this already. When a woman breaks up with a man, she's already broken up with him psychologically years in advance. She's already broken up with him psychologically. She's already gotten over him. She's already done all of that emotional, emotional work to get over the relationship. In many cases, when a woman enters into a relationship, when she enters into a marriage, she's already planned her exit before she planned her entrance. She's already planned her divorce before she planned her wedding. I've been telling men this for years, but they don't want to listen because they want the fairy tale. I made a poll a while ago. I keep talking about it, where I said, take one Bitcoin or meet your soulmate. It didn't even say marry your soulmate. It didn't say have a happily ever after with your soulmate. It said meet your soulmate or one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is currently almost $65,000. You can take the Bitcoin and convert it instantly to cash and cash out $65,000. There were a lot of people who said that, well, they're just not into Bitcoin. It's just not stable enough for them, blah, 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 blah. Even though they could cash out. So either they have a complete misunderstanding of how Bitcoin works, or they just don't care. There were some people who said that $65,000 is not even a lot of money, and you're not even, and in today's economy, you could not even start a business with $65,000. That is to show you why some of these men guys are going to, some of these men guys are going to end up on the streets. They're going to end up homeless. They're going to end up living in extreme poverty because their central focus is on a woman. A lot of men were saying that the thing is, when you meet your soulmate, she, even if you're living in a box, she's going to be there with you. Even if you're homeless, she's going to be there with you. When a man meets his soulmate, she will never leave him. Guys, this is how bots are. Like, many of you guys think that these guys are just complete bots. You don't realize, never underestimate just how stupid most people are around you. George Carlin said something along the lines of, imagine the dumbest person you know, and then comprehend that half of all the people around you are dumber than that person. That is just how society works. That's how people in society absolutely operate and think. Again, guys, I want to remind you, do not forget to head over to the Angry Guy Clubhouse. It is lit over there. It is a space that we have created for ourselves. It is a space that we have curated for ourselves where we can basically talk amongst ourselves. There's tons of great content over in the Clubhouse. There's new articles on a daily basis over there. Check that out. You know, there's a new article coming tomorrow after this video. This one, the latest article, Modern Women Are Pissed. The real reason the men are walking away from dating. You know, the art of the fib when lying is actually a good thing. Guys, you have to be real. There's people who are like, never tell a lie. That's absolute nonsense. Did feminism fail women in the unexpected backlash and blame game? We also have things like guides over here for you, how to build a thriving business empire. You know, unlock your path to passive income with our complete affiliate marketing guide. There's something over there, how the boomers stole our futures. We even have little quirky things like Thanos' blunder, why a population cap would have saved the universe. And of course, men going their own way has robbed women of their futures, guys. There's a lot of there's something over there for everyone. And for the Gen Xers out there, let's not forget articles on, like, you know, the silent rage of Gen X, forging the fires of reality. We have videos, extended videos over there for you, and exclusive videos. We also have podcasts over there for you, and we have access to chat, so you guys can talk with me, talk to each other. You don't have to worry about having your voice taken away either. So it's pretty awesome, guys. There's a link to the Angry Guy Clubhouse description of the video. You can go check that out, sign up to it. And when you sign up, guys, you will also get a free copy of our Digital Nomad Blueprint. Everything is linked in the description. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Broke girls are demanding high-value men. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.